When I was a kid, I played a lot of games, mostly on the Gamecube. My childhood was spent with this plastic block right here. But there are plenty of games that I played that nobody seems to talk about. And I have two of those games right here that I...
Hold it right there!
General Meltyface! Sir! What are you doing here?
I noticed you were about to cover 2 games, but wouldn't it be better to cover 3 games?
Yeah, but there were only 2 good ones I really wanted to play.
You're focusing too much on the good! Have you considered playing a poopy game?
What game are you talking about, General?
That one!
Oh, that is a poopy game. But I don't want to play it, and you can't make me.
You seem to be forgetting that I am the one with the gun!
And you seem to be forgetting that you're only 2 inches tall.
Hurts, don't it?
No, not particularly. Fine, I'll play the game. Stop shooting me. It's mildly annoying. 3. I have 3 games that I played when I was a kid, 2 of which I remember fondly, and one of them is a steaming pile of goat vomit. So let's get this one out of the way first. ArmyMenSarge'sWare. In this game, you play as a little plastic army man named Sarge. That's both his rank and his name. And you run around fighting the Tan Army. How could you go wrong? With the controls, that's how! The first and biggest issue here is that you shoot with the A button. So, how do you aim and shoot at the same time? You don't. You press the L button to lock onto a target so you can move freely around while shooting at somebody. Now this lock-on target thing is absolutely necessary when you need to keep an enemy in your line of sight when fighting up close in a 3D environment, like with a sword. But when I play a shooter, the 2 things I do most is shooting, of course, and aiming. So when you don't need to aim at all, that takes away half of what a shooter is supposed to be. Now if you press the R button, you actually get to aim from a first-person perspective, but they managed to screw this up too because you can't move around while doing this. You are locked in place while you try to line up your shot, so you can't go dodging enemy fire while trying to hit the guy you want to hit because the lock-on's all like, oh, there's a guy with a shotgun 2 inches from your face, shoot that guy instead. Now what about grenades? Surely they can't get that wrong too. Oh wait, they did. They could have made it so you just tap the Z button to quickly chuck a grenade, but no. That button doesn't do anything at all. The grenade is treated as its own weapon, meaning you have to cycle through all your other weapons to get to it. Then you hold the A button to wind up your throw, which locks you in place so you can turn on the spot while you try to aim it. And as if they couldn't get it any more wrong, Sarge holds the grenade like a rifle. Does he hold a knife like that too? And the missions, every single mission is the same thing in a different place. You shoot guys, find a time bomb, shoot more guys, blow up the thing that's blocking the way, shoot more guys, look for another time bomb, shoot more guys, rescue a hostage in every single mission. The only good thing I can say about this game is that I like the way chunks of your body go missing as you take damage. And you can get health back by picking up globs of liquid plastic that drop from the guys you kill, which means Sarge is patching up his wounds with bits and pieces of the people he's killed, which is not only incredibly morbid, but I don't think it would work in real life. Ah, paper cut! Wait, I know what to do. There, good as new.
Get this tape off me right now.
This game sucks. There is no other way I can describe it, and yet I played it all the way through. I don't know why. Maybe my standards are that low. Maybe I like to suffer. Or maybe I just like the novelty of being a little plastic army guy. I made it all the way to the end for a plot twist I couldn't care about if I wanted to. There. Now I never have to play this dumpster fire again. Ah! Now we can move on to a good one. Robotech Battle Cry. This game is based on the anime from the 80s where the Earth is invaded by the Zentradi, who are a race of giant aliens, and you pilot a Veritech to fight them. The Veritech is a giant transforming robot with 3 forms. There's Battleoid mode, which is your standard robot form that's good for fighting in close quarters. Fighter mode, a big old fighter jet that moves fast and hits hard. And Guardian mode, where Albert Einstein looked at a fighter jet and said, "Give that thing some arms and legs!" As for the controls, you fire your primary weapon with Y and your secondary with X. Z is for the special ability of your current form, but the basic movement is a little weird. When in Battleoid mode, you walk forward and backward with the control stick, but moving the stick side to side just turns you on the spot. You have to press L or R to move sideways. This weirdness also carries over to Guardian mode, but this control scheme works just fine in Fighter mode. As you would expect, each form has different strengths and weaknesses as well as different capabilities. Battleoid mode is accurate, maneuverable, and has a machine gun as its primary weapon, and the secondary is a faster, less powerful machine gun that is mainly used for shooting down missiles, and the special ability for this form is a sniper. While aiming it, you can't really move around though. Fighter mode has a fast and powerful machine gun for its primary weapon, and heavy missiles as the secondary that can't turn very well but deal great damage, and its Z button throws out a decoy that attracts enemy missiles. Guardian mode also has a machine gun, but it's not as strong as the one in Fighter mode, and light missiles that are much more accurate than the heavy ones but deal less damage. And being a jet with arms, you can pick up objects that need to be moved. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Just like Sarge's War, this game has a lock-on mechanic, and when aiming the sniper you can't move at all. But that's where the similarities end. Rather than just running side to side while locked on, you have to fly around in all directions and use every different function of your Veritech if you want to survive. Fighting more than just guys with different guns, with a much wider variety of missions. There's straight up combat, seek and destroy, objective defense, and even the dreaded escort mission is more fun than the entirety of Sarge's War, made so by the fast-paced, challenging gameplay where if you make the wrong move, you die, and have to listen to the commander tell you how bad of a pilot you are.
If you weren't dead, I'd have you court-martialed. Why don't you go back to the academy? What is this, a flying circus?
Jesus Christ, lady! A man just died! You could at least have a little more respect than that.
Help! I'm bleeding! I can't breathe!
Save it for the stage, drama queen! Well, that about covers Robotech. Now on to the last one, Virtua Quest! This game takes place
in the not-so-distant future.
And considering this game came out in 2004, that probably means they thought this would be happening right now. But they're wrong, because as far as I know, people can't put on a VR headset and put their consciousness into a virtual world where they run around abandoned servers looking for lost data, which is exactly what happens in this game. Then there's an evil organization trying to use this virtual world to take over the real world, and their henchmen walk like they didn't quite make it to the toilet before that laxative kicked in. And to get the strength you need to stop them, you need to find these things called Virtua Souls. And here is where this game ties into the Virtua Fighter series. You have a short conversation with one of the characters from Virtua Fighter, quickly followed by attempted murder. Then, after you beat them, they teach you one of their moves. You just see your character do exactly as they do, and after demonstrating the moves, they tell you the name of it with some words of encouragement.
The short shoulder will let you charge your foes with the strength of a buffalo.
This is Kusarigama. Make sure to remember it well.
Behold, organ failure. Call an ambulance.
It is a little different when they teach you a grab move, though. The Virtua Fighter's like, ah, crap, I need something to grab onto. Ah, perfect, no one's using this. Now remember, if done correctly, this move will leave your opponent with permanent brain damage. Any questions? The combat isn't too complicated. A lot of the time you'll probably just be mashing A for your basic attack, and you have your energy wire for swinging on these balls of light like Spider-Man, but not as good. And the wire can also be used in combat to pull yourself to an airborne enemy, or pull them to you to chain more attacks together. And then with the X button you can use the moves you've learned from the Virtua Fighters. Each move uses the X button in a different way, like holding the button down, just tapping it, or hitting it while running or in the air. But you can't just spam these moves endlessly. Each one uses up some of your SP, which you can regenerate by landing some regular attacks. These special moves also have use outside of combat in the form of breaking certain objects, like these boxes that usually have more Virtua Souls in them. And there are things hidden everywhere. Some of them are really well hidden, others not so much. And it's just so much fun to find these things while fighting off green guys, ninjas, and big robots that are in Japan in the 1600s for some reason. You also have a little robot companion named Bit. He's sorta like Navi from the Ocarina of Time, but less annoying and more easily ignored. And his advice is actually useful. Most of the time. In most stages, you can find food for Bit that will change his stats, and when his stats are just right, he will take the form of a different animal. There is a gallery of his different forms in the menu that tells you what each form does and what stats you need to change him to that form. Some of them will protect you or give you different information, and some will help you in battle. As much as I love this game, I do have a few complaints. The first of which being the gargantuan load of long, unskippable cutscenes at the start of the game. Especially in the first level. You start the level, and there's a cutscene. You walk down the street, another cutscene. Go that way, another cutscene. You get on the roof, another cutscene. Throughout the whole first level, not counting the cutscenes where you talk to the Virtua Fighters, there are 12 long, drawn-out cutscenes that you cannot skip. I get that you're trying to tell a story, but my god, just let me play! You can't put that many cutscenes that close together and make them unskippable! That should be illegal! The other levels have cutscenes too, but not nearly as many as the first level, which is nice, but that does not excuse cramming an entire movie into the first stage with only about 10 seconds of gameplay between each cutscene. And now I feel like I've said cutscene too many times. Now I'm gonna stop talking about cutscenes so I can stop saying cutscene so I can complain about something that isn't a cutscene. Cutscene. There is a leveling system in this game, and your level does not affect how strong your character is, only the areas you have access to, which is an excuse to shoehorn mandatory grinding into an action platformer, a genre of game where you shouldn't have to grind in the first place. Bottom line, stay as far away from this game as possible. This game is good and gives me very little to complain about, and this one, despite some glaring problems, is still good, but that's probably just nostalgia talking. Anything to add, General? General Melty Face? Oh, he's dead. Right here, 2 games that I played as a kid that wait, damn it.
You're focusing too much on the good. Have you...
Son of a... Gonna have to try that again. Damn it. blow up the thing that's blocking the way. But moving the sick. That's a sick stick, I tell you what. Big robot. That's big robots. Big robots everywhere.